Hello everybody. I've decided to videotape myself close up, and I just got to either overcome my phobia of the camera lately, because I used to feel very, relatively comfortable on the camera. When I started doing my sewing channel back in it's almost 10 years ago now. It was back in 2008 or 2009. Not quite 10 years ago, but, I can't believe how time has flied. So my first few videos I did back then, I was 10 years younger, almost 10 years younger. I was still married. I hadn't gone through the stress of divorce and of trying to sell items, and material possessions and all that. So this is 10 years later. And I've noticed in the past 2 or 3 years in particularly the past 2 years, I've been just really avoiding the camera. Or the few videos I've done, I've been making sure my makeup's perfect and I'm dressed and I'm, so I decided I've either got to get over this, and I've got the viewfinder on over here, but I'm going to flip it over. Now, I'm cheating already. I've got a little lipstick on. Actually, now, see, I'm looking at the lipstick. I think I probably should have picked a little bit darker color. And I'm laying backwards. I'm laying down almost. I'm very leaned back. I'm sitting reclined. So I'm definitely, looking more not as wrinkly, because all the wrinkles fall backwards. So, I am cheating somewhat, but I just got to get over this. So, in a second, I'm going to turn the video over, the viewfinder over. You see, these wrinkles, there's really not much I can do other than maybe some sort of injections, or, which I did try once. Once I had Botox. I put the Botox here I think that was about 2 years ago. And it lasted maybe 4 months. It was super expensive. And it definitely looked, you could tell something was better. It was very, it didn't look like I'd done much. People were just telling me how relaxed and rested I looked lately. They didn't know what the reason was. Hang on a second. But, for something that only lasts 4 months, for the price I paid, I don't feel it's worth it. If I could get Botox really cheap, and I'm not going to do that either, because apparently if you pay too little for Botox, it's because they're injecting you with some kind of tire, I think it's tire fluid, or the kind of, what is it that it is? The silicone they use in mechanics. I don't remember. But, you got to, apparently if you pay cheap, it's because you don't know what they're injecting into you. So, maybe that was the silicone injections that Priscilla Presley had that done to her. She had it switched off with some sort of tire silicone, instead of the doctor injecting her with the stuff that's medical grade. So, I don't want cheap Botox or cheap whatever injections, but because, there's the fear of what they might be putting into you. But on the other hand, I don't want to pay all this money for something that's only going to last. On me, it only lasted 4 months. Supposedly, it's supposed to last longer, but the one I got, I don't know, it only lasted about 4 months. So anyway. So I'm not doing it again because of the price. Because I definitely, if I had that money, and actually maybe I could, really stretching it and saving up, I probably could afford it. But I still feel that it's a pity to pay for something that you don't keep. It's there only for a few months. With that money I could get something that I actually, or even be paying towards something or saving towards something that I can keep, like a piece of land or, a car payment or anything. So, when you're on a budget, or, when you're not super rich, that's what you have to do. So So my choice is not to pay for Botox, and I am paying for a piece of property that I bought, a vacant piece of land, finally, in the bad part of town. So the closing's in a few days. And then I'm going to see about maybe, building or something. So these are things that I'm planning for the future. So I cannot be affording, whatever it costs for Botox, $700-800 for a 3-4 month supply of Botox, So anyway, but anyway, that's not really the reason why I came out. I'm going to flip this viewfinder over because it's too distracting. But I am going to try to film myself more and not being all made up. And I will probably always have a little makeup on. I mean, I think I still wouldn't go on camera with absolutely no makeup. I think I've never uploaded a video of myself with no makeup. But I'm going to be a little more relaxed about it. I mean, if this were a beauty and fashion channel, maybe, even on the sewing channel, it's sewing. It's not beauty and fashion and makeup. So it doesn't matter if I don't. I mean, I think it's best to try to look pleasant as you can for your viewers, because part of it, since it is a video, part of it is, how you look and, how you connect with the audience, even if you're not gorgeous, but you have to be pleasant. I mean, you can't be looking like a slob, I think. Although there are some girls and men that just kind of get on there, don't care what they look like, but they're so, like The Amazing Atheist. He's now TJ Kirk is his channel, but he used to call his channel The Amazing Atheist. I'm not sure why now he switched it to his real name. He's pretty is unseemly the right word? I mean, you look at him, he's really not that, he's actually could be handsome if he wanted to be, but he doesn't even bother trying. So, his hair is just grown long because he never gets a haircut, and he just kind of overweight because he doesn't care, what he eats. And I think he smokes a lot of marijuana and things. I mean, that's not what's important to him. And he has a girlfriend, and I've seen she's walked through the camera a time or two. She's a cute girl, She's not at all, like him as far as, her, she seems to care about looking neat. And here I am. When I talk, I move my hands a lot. So since I'm holding the camera, I got to switch back and forth because my hand gets tired. I'm talking too much. All right. The reason I'm coming on here, I guess I'm trying to get some advice, or not advice really. I'm just wondering what is going on. And it's probably nothing. It's something that happened at work. It's probably nothing. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's probably not a big deal at all. But it's just kind of strange, but it's something nice that I like, but it's just, I'm wondering, I can't understand why this happened. So, all right, so there, I work in an office, and there are, everybody's really nice. I really love the people in my office. I can't say my job is the best job in the world. It's a job, but it's very pleasant because I work with such nice people. It's really hard especially in an office and in a large corporation, to work with people who are so agreeable. I mean, yeah, of course, it's office after all. There's always going to be a teeny bit of tension here and there. But for the most part, I mean, my gosh, I'm so lucky. It's a part-time job. And if it were a horrible job, like, oh my gosh, the job I had 2 or 3 years ago when I was temping, I would be gone already. Because the pay does not cover my cost of living, But it's good pay, but since it's part-time, I can't afford to live on my own unless I do some other activity, which I'm doing. I'm working towards that, but let's not get off on another tangent here. So anyway, it's a really nice office, and everybody's friendly with each other. And then we have people that come and go. They're not at the office all the time. They work from home, or they're at a satellite office, so they're not in the office every single day. So there's a gentleman there that comes, every few months he drops in and he does some of the work in our office. From his office, he has his own office at our location. And he has an office somewhere else too, and he travels a lot. His job takes him around. So, and I've always kind of thought he was, attractive, but, for many reasons. First of all, I believe he's married. I never really thought about whether he's married or not, but I believe he probably is. And I usually know who's single and who's not. It's like the first thing when I meet a man, I'm sorry, unfortunately, the first thing I try to figure out if he's single or not. So I assume I must have already been through the process where I decided he's married at some point. I've been there for a few years now, so I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure I've already discarded him as a potential, for that reason. First of all, because he's a coworker, which is something I've already learned you don't do. You just don't do it. If you do, in the past I did get to get actually my first kind of serious boyfriend, one of actually the only boyfriends I've ever had, was a guy I worked with back when I was in my 20s in Washington, D.C. So, we met at work, but shortly after I realized that we were liking each other, I decided to leave. I put in for a transfer to another department because it's not good to work and be dating someone. You got to be away from them. So getting back to present day now. So for that reason, first of all, coworker, number one reason for no. Number two, most likely the guy is married. Like I said, I don't know for sure, but most likely he is because I would know by now. A guy that I find attractive, I would know already if he's married or not. I know myself. So at some point I must have discarded him for some indication. So that's two reasons. Okay. So that's that. So every time he happens to come into the office every few months, hi, how are you? What's up? What's going on? If there's a call for him, I'll transfer to him. Just nothing other than a pleasant relationship in the office, as I do with all the people. But, so I have this candy addiction. I'm trying not to make it too long, but, I have this addiction to candy. So one of the ways my addiction manifests itself is there's a conference room where when a client comes in and he has a meeting with one of the people in the office, my job is to, hello, how are you, sir? Would you like a coffee? Have a seat here in this room. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so will be here in just a moment. Just the receptionist, bring him a coffee or a Coca-Cola or offer him the refreshment. We have some like little individually wrapped cookies. They're really yummy. I sneak some of those sometimes too. But anyway, and because I eat breakfast and I go to work, or I don't eat breakfast actually. That's the problem. I should eat a good breakfast, but I don't. I usually run out the door in the morning. I have to be there by 9, so got to catch the bus, all that. So usually in the morning I have a cup of coffee and a few, quick crackers or something just to break the, hunger, and I run out the door. So I never have breakfast, a good breakfast. So at the office, I'm there until 2, obviously, around 11-ish, almost noon, still a few hours till I can leave. I don't have a lunch break because it's 5 hours straight through. So, I usually leave work and then I eat lunch after work. I get home. By the time I get home, it's 3 or 4. Depending if I'm dilly-dallying or not. So I noticed what I was doing is just to like around 11-ish, 10-ish, 11, I would go into the conference room and I would steal 1 or 2 cookies. Because those little, it's for the guests. It's not supposed to be for us. But I do it, but other people in the office do it too. They're very tempting. They're just little Biscoff. I'm sure you've seen them, or you can find them on the internet or anywhere. They're not too expensive, and they're just little individually wrapped. So, I was taking one or two every day, and other people were too. Other people in the office, not as often as I did though, because they get a lunch break. I don't. But occasionally I would, hear. I would pretend not to notice. I would hear someone walk into the room because it's right near where I sit. I'd hear the crinkling of the wrapper, and I knew someone had stolen a cookie. So, they were going a little bit, and I'm the one who does the office supplies and the kitchen supplies. I'm the procurement person too, so I order. So I was thinking, well, we're always trying to keep our budget under a certain amount, and so I was noticing, well, if we would stop eating all those cookies, myself included, and I was the major one. The cookies would last longer, and they're not expensive, but it is kind of weird that a big box of cookies is disappearing quickly when we don't have that many visitors, So I decided, okay, what I'm going to do is, like one day I was at CVS and I saw a big bag of these yummy candies that I like. They're caramel, the Getz caramels. They're cream in the middle and then caramel around it. They're individually wrapped. Everything has to be individually wrapped in the conference room because... So I thought to myself, well, this is cool. I'll buy them with my own money. It's only like $3 for a bag of, like a big bag. And then that way I won't feel guilty when I'm going in there and stealing, and I'll put it out there for everyone, for the visitors mainly, but of course I'll put it out there. But then if I feel like having them, I'll just go and steal a candy instead of a cookie. And since I'm paying for them, I won't feel guilty about it. So I started doing that. So, at first I was pretty much the only one. I also bought some macaroons, like a little bit of chocolate covering on them. And those, usually I only buy 2 or 3 of those because they're $1 each, so they don't, But I figured it also makes the conference room look nice for the visitors, and, it looks nice. And they have a coffee, an espresso machine. They can make their own coffee while they're waiting for their appointment. All right, so that was working fine for a while. And then, but of course those candies were going quick. Like they wouldn't even last the week. The bag would be gone. I'd be eating like 5 a day, or now that I no longer felt guilty about it, because even with the cookies, there was a little bit of control on it, because even though I was the one eating them, I felt guilty enough to not take more than 1 or 2 a day. But with the candies, there was no guilt, because I said, oh, it's my money anyway. So, of course, they were just disappearing. So I would buy more, or they'd disappear. I'd buy more. Every week I'd buy a bag. It's $3 a week. It's still not that much. But so, and of course, whenever someone else went in to steal a cookie, they would discover this new thing. So then other people in the office started, oh my gosh, these are so good. So the whole office is starting to get a little bit addicted. Like there's 3 of us. I feel so horrible. I've gotten people addicted. But there's 3 of us in the office that are just like, oh my gosh, these are so good. Oh my gosh, these are evil, And we're always sneaking in there. Still, I'm still the one. Because one girl, my coworker, she is so good. She can have 1 a day. And that's it. And she just has the 1 a day. She just does not, I don't know how she does it. But the other guy, the other person is the other guy, this guy that I'm telling you about that comes every, month or 2. So, all right, stop. Okay, well, because he's cute also is the other reason. It's hot. Okay, so he is the other person that's addicted. And there may be other people, but it's not as noticed. They're not as honest about their addiction. Or I mean, maybe they're not addicted, but they don't talk about the candy and the cookies. But my coworker and I, the lady that I work with and I, we both admit that we love these candies and we steal them all the time. And I told her, that's good. I want everyone to partake. I'm eating them all, so I don't care. The reason I put them there was they're sort of like a decoy from the cookies. So, and then, of course, whenever we have a visitor, they love them, too. Is this still even running? Oh, it is. Jeepers. All right. So, you just saw my messy house. Okay. Well, I mushed everything over to that side. I got to go through it, the books and stuff. Okay. So this guy really loves them. And then one day he came, like in these past few months, and I had not bought a bag, so they were gone. I also buy these little soft peppermints, these soft mints that are not as addictive. Those are actually under control, so I actually got the office to start buying those. They're also inexpensive. Those last a long time. They don't disappear. So anyway, so the guy came in with where are those candies, you know, and I just, I didn't buy them, you know, I'm too addicted. I'm going to try not to buy them anymore because I just end up eating them all. And, you know, so we had a little bit of a laugh about that. And I just thought it was so cute that he loved those candies, you know, because he's a cute man. But, you know, whatever, nothing, you know, nothing that was beyond what's proper, you know. So whatever. So every time he come, you know, when those candies are there, he takes a few and, I love these candies, etc. So one day there was a huge meeting. He was there the whole week. It was a big meeting where a lot of people come to meet in our large boardroom. That was last December, November, December. And, you know, I bought an extra bag of those candies, plus we bought a lot of extra supplies for the meetings. We got extra refreshments for the attendees. There were like, you know, 30 people from around the world. It's a really nice, it's nice, it's fun, you know, the important people, they're the big important people from all parts of the world. So that week, he was there the whole week. And the year before also, it's just the thing that's done every year. So I had bought those candies, and just, you know, he has his own office that he uses when he comes. So I don't know why I did it. I mean, it was, I honestly wasn't doing it to be like flirting with someone, because that's not proper, you know, but he wasn't in his office at the time. I was cleaning up because the guys kind of go throughout the whole office, and they'll find an empty office, or they'll find a meeting room, or they'll find an empty cubicle. Like all those men mainly, that's how it is in corporate. There's mostly men, but there were some women too, by saying. So, and they drink things, and they get coffee, and so there's a lot of dirty dishes all throughout the office. So another thing that I do is during those meetings, I kind of, when they're in the actual meetings and they're not on their breaks doing their office things and taking coffee and stuff, I'll go around and I'll clean up, you know, the dirty dishes, the paper cups, you know, just to keep the place tidy. So I went into his office because there were a few cups in there. He'd apparently had a smaller meeting with one or two of his team, and there were some dirty cups in there. And I was cleaning, and I had the bag of candies with me, and because I was refilling the candy bowl, and it's, you know, so I had a few of these candies. I don't know why I did it. I guess I was, well, he's a nice man too, you know, he's always smiling, always you know, I didn't really think about it too much. I just knew that he likes those candies. So I threw a few on his desk, sort of like 2 or 3 of them. I just threw them on his desk as if they had fallen, you know, and I left. I honestly, you know, I did not even think about it. You know, I didn't even, you know, I just thought it was funny, you know. So, got the cups, never thought about, you know, did it and left. And, but I do that, to my defense, I do that with other coworkers too. Like, there's one guy that I know loves cinnamon tea, so I always make sure we have enough cinnamon, you know, Bigelow's cinnamon tea bags. And, you know, when I notice, I know one of the guys in the office likes his water room temperature. He doesn't like it in the fridge, so I always make sure to leave some bottles of water in the pantry and not in the fridge, and I leave them out so it's easy for him to get to. So, you know, like when I see that somebody in the office, I mean, it's part of my customer service. You know, I was trained a lot in customer service, receptionist, customer service. I was, for a while, I worked at 2 different, you know, where you answer phones for big companies like AT&T and TrackPhone. I answered phones for TrackPhone, a customer service. So I have a lot of customer service training. So part of it kind of spills over into my office. Even though these people in the office are not customers, the customer service in me comes out. Do what you can to make the customers happy. So since, getting back to this, since I know he likes candy, I threw a few on his desk, sort of without thinking, and I left. So, whatever, nothing came up about it. And then a few days later, it was like Friday, the meetings were coming to a close, things were slowing down, a lot of the people had already left to go back to their homes, countries, and he was there, and he stopped by, he said, "Were you the one who threw those candies on my desk?" I said, "Oh yeah, I know you like them, I just threw a few on there." He's like, "Oh, thank you. It was just like after that rough meeting, I got back to my office and those candies were just welcoming me. It was just wonderful." He thanked me. That was months ago. So I thought, oh, okay, you're welcome, whatever, haha. And I've seen him since. I've seen him in the office since then. It's been a few months. He comes every once in a while. I always see him, smile, we smile, we say hi, just the same. Nothing has changed in the relationship as it's always been. Okay, I know I'm talking too much, but here's what happened this week. And this is why I don't want to, okay, never mind, I'll just tell you. So, it was Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was it's Thursday, so it was just a few days ago. It was Monday. I get, after the weekend, get to work. I get to my desk. This is months later now. And we have not had any other interaction out of the ordinary. I had a box of, a big bar of chocolate on my desk. But a chocolate like a foreign land chocolate, like a imported chocolate. A bar. It's probably not super expensive. He'd apparently gone on a trip to one of the offices, and I'm not even his secretary or anything. I mean, I have nothing to do with him as far as in the office. When he's there, I help, with minor things like transferring a call or something, but I don't work for him. So it's not like, because if it would have been my direct boss, I would have said, oh, that's nice, The World Bank, my bosses would do it all the time. They'd come back from a trip and they'd leave me a little, gift from the trip, sort of as a thank you to the secretary. It was a nice touch. It wasn't expected, but it was always nice. So, my bosses would always bring me back a little gift or something from their trip. And I've been in the corporate world enough to know that that's how it is. It's not to be taken like... But I've never had it happen to me from someone that I have nothing to do with, like as far as work. I don't have anything, I'm not his secretary, So it was sitting on my desk. So I thought, oh, this is wonderful. First of all, I didn't know who it was from. I figured, what's going on? I said, oh, okay, well, maybe it's, there was no reason for it. Secretary's gone. Secretary's Day. I got a mani-pedi for Secretary's Day, actually, from my direct manager, not from... And that's already passed. That was in April. We're already in June. So it's like, this is weird. Oh, okay. And then I thought, okay, well, I realized it was from a foreign country, the chocolate. So I said, oh, somebody must have been on a trip and brought this and left it at my desk to share with the office. I figured, And I thought, well, that's weird. My boss didn't go. I know where my direct boss travels, and I knew he hadn't traveled to that country. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe it's... I didn't know who it was. I said, if it wasn't my direct boss, who else in the office even travels, other than the people that I know who travel? And the one guy that does travel to this country, where the chocolate was from, wasn't there that day. He was actually traveling. So I was like, oh, that's really strange. And I said, okay, well, whoever left it, I thought to myself, probably wants me to share it with the whole office, because it was a really big chocolate bar. I'm not even that crazy about chocolate, but I like it. I mean, it's not even so much... I'm more into like caramel and fruity, chewy candies, but the thought that someone gave you a gift, that's where it counts. And it is delicious too. I love chocolate also. Just it's surprising for someone who's addicted to candy. I'm not that crazy about chocolate. But, so then I said, okay, oh, well, I picked up the candy bar, and I went, and I said, hey, guys, oh, look, this was on my desk. I guess somebody traveled in and brought us a candy bar to share. And she said, oh, it was on your desk? My coworker says to me. And I said, yeah, must be somebody went to this country and, just left it on my desk. But they should have left it on. She said, oh, no, if it's on your desk, she says to me, then it's for you. I said, well, that's weird. Who was it? And she says, oh, it must have been so-and-so, the guy that I'm talking about, that I think is kind of cute. And then then I thought to myself, oh, I did say it, but I thought to myself, okay, well, he must have gotten one for everyone, he just felt like being nice, so I figured they must have gotten theirs too. But then, maybe they did. Actually, I'm going to ask them if they got it, if they also got it. But it seems like they would have said, oh, he got us some too, isn't that nice of him? So then it would have been normal. It's like, oh, okay, well, he decided everybody should get their own bar of chocolate. But neither of them said that either. And I didn't ask them either, but it doesn't appear that they did get it, because they would have said something. It would have been logical at that point. Because I said, oh, well, that's strange. Why would he leave me just... and they didn't say anything, and they didn't take it as something weird either, they just thought of whatever, So, I'm just trying to figure out why this happened, why, that is one thing. I am going to ask my one coworker. I don't feel comfortable asking the other one, but I'll ask the one coworker if she also got one. But it's been a few days, and they would have said something by now. But anyway, here's the thing. So he happened to be there that day. So I said, oh, well, I got to go thank him, So I went over, to his office. Oh, thank you so much. This is great. I'm going to put it in the kitchen so that everyone can have a little bit. That was so nice of you. He said, no, that's for you. That is for you. Don't put it in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, well, I can't eat this whole thing. It's a big bar. I was really like inside, like so excited that somebody that is kind of cute gave me a chocolate bar. I know I tend to read too much into things sometimes, so I don't want to do that. But I just thought, oh my gosh, he likes me. Of course, a woman who's looking for a relationship is gonna try to convince herself that. But I acted like it was just no big deal, and oh, okay, I'll share it with everyone. Thank you, that was nice of you, And but he was like adamant that I not let anyone else have any, that it was for me, and I put it in my drawer, and at that point I thought, well, it will be insulting to him if I leave it in the kitchen for everyone, even though I kind of felt that was what I should do, but then I didn't want to insult him because he was very adamant that I eat that myself every day, have a little piece or whatever. So I thought to myself, okay, so then, like, of course it had me crazy all day. I was like, why did he do that, And he still treated me like normal, he wasn't being all romantic or anything. Of course, it would have been kind of awkward in the office anyway, but no, he just treated me normally after that, gave me the candy bar, told me it was for me, not shared it. And then it was all normal. And actually, I didn't see him the rest of the day because I actually was on purpose staying away from that side of the office so that it wouldn't look like I was interested. Isn't it weird? It's just, I don't know. I wish I could be more natural about things. But here's the bad thing, though. Here's the bad thing. I think that I'm reading way too much more into it than it is. Because then I thought to myself, okay, maybe he did it. The timing is kind of weird, but maybe he just did it because he remembered the time that I threw the candy on his desk, and he just, decided to. And then, of course, I want to know, was he planning it all the way from when he was in that country and he saw the bar and he decided to give it to me? Or did he buy, because I do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll buy a bunch of things when I'm on a trip. as gifts, not knowing who I'm going to give them to. And then when I get home, I sort of start in my head saying, oh, well, I should give one to so-and-so. And so I was thinking maybe he did that, you know. I don't know. And he's heterosexual. If he's not married now, maybe he's divorced. I don't know. But he's definitely not gay. And not that there's anything wrong if he's gay, but I mean, if he's, I don't want to sound whatever, but if he seemed gay, like if he acted effeminate, I would think, okay, it's like when a girlfriend has there actually is a lady in the office who gives flowers to all of us, you know, because she buys flowers and then she has a few and she spreads them out among us. So, you know, so if he were a gay guy, I might take it like that, you know, like, oh, he's a gay guy, but he thinks I'm nice, and so he's just, you know, wants to give, you know, so any other situation I could take it normally, but this is a heterosexual man who, you know, if I weren't sexist, I could say, well, why can't a heterosexual man just give a present to someone he doesn't work with just because he wants to, you know, because he thinks she's nice, and doesn't mean there's any kind of attraction, you know. So I'm trying to convince myself that he's just a nice guy and he just decided to do that. But my whole other side of me has like this whole fantasy that, oh, he must have gotten divorced and he just is just starting to, you know, realize that, you know, I don't even want to say how stupid the fantasies I'm having now. And this has only been like, okay, it happened Monday, so it's Thursdays. How many days? And like, I've already gotten married to the guy in my head. So, you know, he was only there Monday, thank goodness. And he probably won't be back for another month or two, you know, because he comes, like I said, every few months. So it'll be fine. I'll probably calm down over time. And, you know, next time I see him, it'll be back to normal and everything will be fine. But I just don't understand. I mean, I don't know, any opinions out there? I guess I want to ask my coworker, but see, that's the other thing. I don't want to stir up anything that's not there. Or if there is something there, I don't want to stir up suspicions because, you know, it's a small office. So I don't want anyone to think that I might like him or that, you know. So it's just, but I am considering, well, I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm not going to do anything about it. I am going to find out if he also gave them to my coworkers. I really don't believe he did. I really believe he only gave it to me. But I might be wrong. Maybe he did give them something else. Maybe he gave them a little present. But it just seems like we all would have shared with each other what he had given us all. Oh, look, he didn't get me chocolate, but he bought me this little, you know, shaky thing, whatever, you know, the things that with snow. I mean, I'm just pulling it out of the top of my head. I don't know what. Because at the World Bank, actually, it did happen. A guy that didn't work, but he gave it to all of the secretaries, you know, not just to me. So he was a guy that didn't work with us, but he was young. He was about our age. He talked to all of us, you know, but he was in a different department. And, you know, when he came back from one of his trips to Africa, he was an economist that would go to Africa a lot. He brought back some little statues that were carved, hand-carved statues of little animals. I think did I get an elephant or a zebra? I must still have that thing somewhere. Anyway, yeah, that was nice, but he gave it to everyone. He didn't give it just to me. So see, that would have been more, in quotes, normal. Or the other thing, I don't know how long this video is. Hang on, let me see if is this even still? Oh my gosh, I'm not even on camera anymore. Oh my goodness, hang on. Well, that's good. I'm good, because I'm probably look really stupid anyway. Wait, how do I, look at that. Oh my gosh, how did that happen? You know, that happens to me all the time. The camera just kind of zooms in, and I'm not even doing anything. And it zooms in. I must have hit it by accident. All right, well, it is still recording, so that's good. I'll just leave it facing. I'm looking at the viewfinder now. I'm switching arms because my arm gets tired. So, okay, so any of you out there, tell me what you think if you've sat through this whole boring video. I mean, do you think he likes me, or I'm going to try to find out. Maybe he's gotten divorced. I was under the impression he was married or something, because I don't even know if he wears a ring. You know, he probably wears a ring. You know, the fact that I'm not even sure means he probably, at the time that I met him in any case, must have been attached, because I would know by now. Because I make it a point to check if they have a rig, and if I've discarded him as a potential, you know, companion, then I'm pretty sure, I know myself. It's because he was attached or married or something. So the only, and if he is, and let's assume he does like me, but if I find out he's still married or attached or whatever, I'm not even going near that. I'm not doing that. So no matter how cute he is, and I don't think that he's going to do anything inappropriate. You know, if he shows a little interest, I don't blame a guy for trying, you know. But he hasn't shown interest, you know, other than just left the candy bar there, which could mean anything. So what I need to do, I think I'll just give my own advice to myself, and you tell me if you agree or not. Just don't even think about it. Just live, continue on. If he happens to, you know, whenever he comes back in a month or two, is probably, sometimes even 3 months, you know, I don't see him that often. So, you know, we can see at that point, you know, there's no sense in, so I'm going to just try to put it out of my head for the time being, and then just see what happens. And most likely nothing's going to happen, and I just had this nice little, you know, fantasy this week, and it'll go away. And so, okay, so that's the angle right there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.